In this video, I'm going to show you how to add a new user or email address to Virtualmin WebMin. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to log in here, and basically what you need to know is that the port is going to be port 10,000 for logging in to change all this. The port for retrieving emails is 20,000. The port for logging in to do all this is 10,000. This other information you'll need to get from the hosting company that you're using. But in this situation, this is ours, and so I'm going to log in here. I've already got my information put in. And this gives me basically limited access to just this user account. This isn't access to the entire server, it's just access to this user account. So this is just restricted to basically this domain name. So what we can do here is we can do several things here. It depends on what's been enabled on your server, but mostly what we're going to focus on is right here on the Virtualmin tab, and so we're going to choose that. Right now we only have one test domain added to it, and so it's just default onto there. Now there's two different things that might confuse you. One is edit mail aliases and one is edit users. To add an email address, you want to add a user. To add an email address that will just forward to another email address, or say for example we have two email addresses. Say our domain name is testing.com, and we want to have support@testing.com and sales@testing.com go to the same place. So what I would do is I would create a user, and let's say we want to use it, and we want to create one that is for, let's say, support for this example. And then of course we could put whatever we want here, and then of course we would put the password in here. Not too much else needs to be added. I mean, we could just jump right to here and hit create, or you can go in and you can fiddle with all of this. That's totally up to you, and I'm not going to really cover too much of that right now. But you can see that there are several things that you can do, and they're pretty self-explanatory. If not, if you hover over them, you can see how the cursor changes to having a question mark, which means that you can actually click on it, and it takes it a second, but then the information pops up and tells you more information about that item. So it's pretty easy to figure out what it's doing, pretty self-explanatory. And then really, like I said, all you need to do is hit create. And so if I happen to own testing.com, which I don't, this would have just set up support.testing.com or support@testing.com as an email address. The username would be the username plus the dot plus the domain name, at least the first part of it, without the .com or .net or whatever it is. So you can see it right here. It even gives it to you. So pretty easy to figure that out. Now let's go and add an alias. So an alias means that now that we have support@testing.com, we want to add a new alias, and you can see that all of these currently point to testing@testing.com. And so if we wanted to add a new one, we'd just click add alias, and we could say sales@testing is going to be deliver. Let's see, we can either let's deliver to support@testing. And since I don't have .com, I'm just going to leave that blank, but I would normally put the full domain name there. You can also bounce emails. You can forward to other addresses, so you can list a whole bunch of addresses there. You can forward to everyone in the domain. You can set automatically reply, all kinds of different things like that. You just hit create, and it should create it. It doesn't create it because I don't really have testing.com set up, and so it's having a little trouble finding that on the server. Because anyway, yeah, so that's the way that works. There are other things you can set up here. You can kind of explore. It depends on what your server has allowed you to do, or what your webmaster has allowed you to do on this account. So now that I have support@testing.com, I'm going to go log into that, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to change this to 20,000. I'm going to remove this information. So whatever the server host name is going to be here, and then it's going to be :20,000, meaning that it's going to go to port 20,000. So I'm going to click that, and that gives us our login information here. So if you remember, it was support.testing. So no @ symbol and no .com or whatever else. I'm going to just put in my information, and I'm going to sign in. So there it is. Here's the mail. Here's the login. You can change your passwords and stuff like that. So if you want to set up a bunch of emails for somebody, then you would basically tell them to go to the 20,000 and change their password. So you could set up a real simple password. Say here's the password. Go in and change your password once you log in. Now you can use, depending on how it's set up on your server, you can use another email client and have that client go and actually grab the emails off of your server and retrieve them. But those settings are going to be a little bit different for each server. And but you can use, for example, Gmail to retrieve email. You can use Outlook and different, even your phones and stuff like that. So that's how you do it. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.